The BRICS nations have jointly called for intellectual property rights waiver on vaccines, something which is under consideration at WTO. They have also urged to invoke the flexibilities of the TRIPS agreement. The grouping, while deliberating over equitable distribution vaccines, also came up with the communique stating that it was the time when a rules-based world order was created and followed. Just to remind you viewers, the C in BRICS stands for China, and it is talking about rules, respect and global welfare.
Chaired by Indian Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar, a virtual BRICS Foreign Ministers Conference was held to discuss the political and economic roadblocks created by the pandemic. On the 15th anniversary of the foundation year of the grouping, all sides reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthen ties between them at bilateral as well as multilateral level to respond more effectively to the crisis. The BRICS brings together 5 of the largest developing countries of the world, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. All sides came to the consensus of sharing vaccine doses, transfer of technology, development of local production capacities and supply chains for medical products, and promotion of price transparency. They also called for timely operationalization of the BRICS Vaccine and Research Development Center.
We strive for a fair, just, inclusive, equitable, and representative multipolar international system. It is one based on international law and the UN Charter that recognizes the sovereign equality of all states and respects their territorial integrity while displaying mutual respect for interests and concerns of all.
The most important takeaway of the BRICS conference was the consensus drawn by all members over the requirement of waiver on vaccines. India and South Africa have been raising the issue of TRIPS, that is trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights, waiver for COVID-19 vaccines. All BRICS countries agreed to support this measure and called for supporting ongoing consideration in WTO on a COVID-19 vaccine intellectual property rights waiver and the use of flexibilities of the TRIPS agreement and the Doha Declaration on TRIPS agreement and public health. 5 ministers also agreed that in order to address common challenges, a rule-based international system should be strengthened. A number of observers argue, but China believes and states that it has regarded all the global rules and has been a flag bearer of true multilateralism. Chinese Minister Wang Yi said certain countries are adopting fake multilateralism and putting their own interests above all else.
Our cooperation mechanism has been continuously improved and expanded. International influence has been increasing, especially in areas like the economy, trade and finance, political security, and people-to-people exchanges. This has set an example of cooperation among emerging markets and countries. Facing the pandemic, the BRICS countries have demonstrated resilience and vitality and maintained the momentum of cooperation. This has provided an important example not only for our 5 countries, but the world in the fight against the pandemic and restoring the economies.
While Beijing has been educating others on rules and order, it is accused by not one, but several countries of disregarding their territorial integrity. One of them is BRICS member India, with which it has been involved in repeated military standoffs. While some believe that BRICS could be a platform that can bridge the divide created between the two in the past few months, others feel it is just a symbolic exercise bringing nothing substantive on the table.